For centuries, family, black people here in the United States have asked a powerful question. Should we remain here fighting for justice in a country built on our labor and oppression, or should we repatriate back to Africa? We're going to talk about that today, family. We're getting started right now. Calls for repatriation back to Africa go all the way back to the 1800s. Now, some formerly enslaved Africans were resettled in places like Sierra Leone and Liberia. In the early 20th century, people like Marcus Garvey and the UNIA popularized the idea of a Back to Africa movement, which inspired millions of black people worldwide. And later, Pan-African leaders like Kwame Nkrumah, Malcolm X, and even artists like Maya Angelou highlighted Africa as both a physical and spiritual home for the African diaspora. So the idea of repatriation has deep roots among black people in the United States. Naturally, there's powerful reasons why some black people see Africa as part of the answer. Before we continue with the rest of this very important video, I just want to remind you, family, that Harlem Liberation School is doing our best to provide important content, but we want to expand. We want to grow our numbers. We want to reach more of our people, not just here in the States, but around the world. People around the world are watching this channel. And so we ask you, humbly, please click that red subscribe button, family, and help us expand our reach. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of the video. First, there's the issue of cultural reconnection. Obviously, centuries of enslavement, colonialism, cultural erasure. Returning to Africa in this context offers a chance for us to reconnect to our motherland, to reclaim our languages, our traditions, a sense of belonging, and hopefully to resettle in a place where we're the majority, where the issues of white supremacy and racism should not hopefully be as prevalent. Two, there's the issue of nation building. Many of us believe that our skills, our knowledge, our resources, our experiences as Africans in America could help strengthen African nations and contribute to their growth. Not that we come there as some saviors, but we come there to assist. Third, escaping systemic racism, as I kind of alluded to earlier. Instead of fighting for equality in a country where anti-black racism is normalized and foundational, some see the possibility of thriving in a majority black society. And finally, there's the issue of economic opportunities. Africa is home to some of the world's fastest growing economies, with potential in real estate, technology, entrepreneurship, not to mention that 65% of African land is arable, meaning it is fertile, it is farmable. There's much we can do in the realm of agriculture as well. However, repatriation is not without challenges. We have the issue of cultural adjustment. Black people born here in the United States are going to likely face many language barriers. There's going to be different customs that we may not be used to. And in some cases, there have been reports that when black people from the United States have gone back to Africa to live, that they've been treated and viewed as outsiders by the native-born continental Africans. Then we have economic realities. Not all countries have the same infrastructure, job markets, or healthcare systems that people are used to in the United States. And it's still developing, family. Remember, they've been through centuries of colonization and exploitation. They're still developing. Now that they got Europe's foot off their neck, there'll be some readjustment that has to go on that some of us may not like. Then there are economic realities. The job market may not be the same as here. The skills that are hot there might not be the same here. So that's going to take some getting used to. We also can't ignore political issues. We do know, if you watch the news, that some African nations are facing great instability, corruption in government, malfeasance, or internal conflict. So yeah, if you're an African in America and you want to reconnect with home and you want to go to this or that country, you would have to do your research. And you have to examine to what degree is the country I want to repatriate to stable? Are they in some type of civil war? Is there a dictatorship where I'm going? Or is there a type of government where people have say? Are people repressed? Are people in prison for speaking up? These are the things you'd have to examine. And finally, family, we have deep emotional ties. Those of us that were born here in the United States and let's say our parents and grandparents were born here in the United States and even great grandparents. We have emotional connections here that we can't deny, even those of us who are Pan-African nationalists. We got our families here. Our careers have been built and cultivated here. We've done our education here. The lives we built make leaving the United States to go to Africa much more complicated than it sounds. And we have to be honest about that, right? Repatriation doesn't have to be a one-way ticket. Some explore the option of dual citizenship or extended stays in certain African countries. And this allows such African Americans to maintain ties to both continents. Others engage in diaspora investment. So they support schools, they support businesses, even create schools and businesses and development projects in the motherland without uprooting completely. And then there's cultural exchange, learning African history, studying African languages, and building what we might call a kind of a cross-continental solidarity. And of course, we can still focus on community building right here in the United States, strengthening Black institutions like schools and businesses while honoring Africa as our ancestral home. So, should Black people in the United States repatriate or go back to Africa to live? Family, I'm going to be real with you. There's no single answer. For some, Africa represents freedom and reconnection and self-determination. But for others of us, the struggle here is unfinished. We have blood, sweat, and tears invested here in the United States. Maybe the real question isn't just about where we live only, but how do we build power and identity and community wherever we are? Whether we should stay, go, or create bridges between both, the goal, it seems to me, is similar. We want a future where our people everywhere on this planet can live safely and harmoniously and productively. What do you think? Should Black Americans consider repatriation, or do you believe our fight and our stay should be right here in the United States? Please drop your thoughts in the comments and let's build on this important conversation. I'm going to follow this up with some more in-depth conversations and have some guests to speak to that as well. Peace and Black Power, family.